Hello, how you doing today? The Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, and everybody else that is watching is hanging in there, and their life is flowing how they desire it to flow. Or I guess if it's not, then I hope that you are learning and growing from the experience. Welcome. So this is my 100-day meditation experience, day 14, and what is coming up for me today? I'm definitely noticing an increasing space opening up. A how would you call it? Welcome. Um, I guess time seems longer than it has before. The moment seems drawn out. You know when you were like 5 years old and time was just seemed longer and the summer seemed like it was forever. And then as we've grown older, this tunnel vision thing seems to kind of keep closing in on us and closing in, and time seems to be shorter. And it's like, I think I mentioned this the other day, that it's like, you start at the beginning of June and then all of a sudden it's the end of August and you're like, what the hell happened to summer? Um, so time is beginning to expand for me again, which is a really cool experience. Also, with all of this, I've talked a couple times about how full I feel my life is at this point, although I respect the fact that everybody's lives are full. Um, but adding this time has really kind of put a kink in certain things and caused or was causing stress, I guess. And what I've really begun to see is stress is a response to my comfort zone being pushed and to things not flowing with what I feel like my expectations were. And the more I let go of my expectations, the more I allow life to be exactly as it is, and let go of this internal resistance, the less stress appears. Um, you guys, have you ever seen the movie Contact with Jodie Foster? Came out probably 20 years ago. If you haven't, it's a great movie. I highly recommend it. If you have, or I guess if you haven't, there's a scene in it that kind of uh, speaks to what I'm talking about. So there's a part, basically, the very, very brief idea is Jodie Foster makes contact with aliens, and she gets these plans from them, and the government gets involved and all the above. She gets these plans from them to build this spaceship to go off and see the aliens. And I won't tell you what happens at the end, but basically there's a whole big, did this happen, did this not happen? It's actually a great movie. I highly recommend it. But regardless, the spaceship they get is these certain plans. It's like a big hollow sphere that's supposed to send them off into space and do its thing. And the government gets a hold of it and says, this is not going to work. There's no safety chair. There's no safety harness. The passenger would just be flying around, bouncing around. They could knock themselves out. We have no idea what could happen, and that's not, we don't want to put you through that. So they modified the plans to build this, bolted to the ground chair with this safety harness and strap and a big old security thing inside of this ball for Jodie Foster to sit in so that she would be protected. So anyway, as the flight starts and she's doing her thing and she's going off into space, and the ball starts spinning up and whatever, there's this massive, massive vibration going on in the ball, and this chair just starts to shake and shake and shake, and she's kind of going nuts, thinking like, oh my God, something's going to happen. I'm freaking out. This is going to explode, or just not goodness, basically. And it kept shaking, shaking, shaking. And there's this massive resistance, and eventually, what happens is the chair unbolts itself from the ground. The security harness, snaps off, and everything all the stuff that we as humans added on to this design broke off, and then everything was fine. The chair started just floating. Jodie Foster just started floating. The vibration completely stopped. Everything was just chill, and she was just kind of suspended in midair, just kind of hanging out, doing her thing. And it reminded me that life is perfect as it is. We, by our trying to make everything safe and secure and hold on to certain things and make it, to make safety out of it and to make things secure and make ourselves feel better and put the safety harness with the chair and bolt it to the ground and make sure everything is right, so that we're protected, is what generally causes a lot of the conflict and a lot of the wonkiness that we experience. If we just allow life to flow as it is, then right on, welcome, thank you. If we just allow life to flow as it is, things tend to be much more, hey, welcome. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with this meditation experience that I'm having. Now, seeing this, and right on. Yeah, it's probably almost 2 o'clock in the morning here, so I'm guessing you guys in Russia, it's probably somewhere like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and so y'all are just kind of hanging out doing your thing midday. I've been scoping a lot at night, and I get a number of people from Russia. Some of them, with the Russian characters on the screen that I have. 10 a.m. now? Cool, thank you. With the Russian characters that I have no idea what they're saying. I wish them all the best of love, but I can't read it. But thanks, I'm glad you guys can speak English. We probably should learn how to speak Russian, but we haven't gotten around to that yet. But thank you guys for being diligent and learning multiple languages. We appreciate it. So this idea of allowing life to just flow as it is. Wow, 10 languages? Damn. Amazing. And what I've noticed in, as I'm living and how that's coming out in my life, and by the way, I'm still working on actually putting all that into practice. It's just something that I see right now. But I went through this phase before where I basically said, you know what, I surrender, screw it, if I'm not, and this is way back in the day when things started piling up at that point in my life. Forget about it, I'm not going to stress life, I'm just going to allow it to be as it is, and just did my thing. And if I got 2 hours of sleep or 3 hours of sleep, great. If I had a night where I got 6 or 7 hours of sleep, awesome. And just take care of tasks as I take care of them. And when it got done, it got done. And when I got to sleep, I got to sleep. And it was a very kind of a harmonious time for me. That being said, in that vein, I also spent a lot of time doing things that I feel were like unnecessary. Like, screw it. If I'm not going to get sleep anyway, I'll play around on Facebook for an hour, or I'll eat a little bit extra stuff I don't need to eat, or I'll just, just random stuff that wasn't really all that productive, but I was like, hey, if I'm going to be up anyway, screw it, who cares? I found out over time that really didn't serve me all that well. So I started trying to control and maintain, okay, well, I need to cut this out and cut that out and stop this and do, and I started playing that safety harness role where I started trying to control and manipulate life and guide it and push it according to how I wanted it to be. And that obviously did not work either, and produced a lot of stress and frustration, and messed with expectations that, didn't lead me where I wanted to go. So now I guess what I'm awakening to is this balance where I can live this place where I'm just harmonious with what is. There's no need to resist life or the moment or anything else. At the same time, there's no need to do extra crap that's unnecessary. The scrolling through Facebook or the random, doesn't really matter. We all have our things, whatever it happens to be. You guys know your life. But the point is, there's a lot of unnecessary things that are that can be cut out of our life that don't really add all that much value. So it's that balance between cutting those things out, as well as the things that I am doing that do feel harmonious, as long as I'm listening inside and saying, is this really a priority right now? If it is, then do it. Let go. When things happen, they happen. When they don't happen, they don't happen. And let go of this internal resistance. Just drop it. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. I find it at least it seems to be a very harmonious, beneficial way to live. So I offer that to you guys as well. Something else too, I know I talked last night about this idea of I am versus I have. We've talked a little bit about the idea of master consciousness, slave consciousness. At least I feel like we have. So master consciousness, the idea that I run, and you run, we run our own lives. We are conscious creators and the master of our own experience. I'm not saying that things outside of our control don't happen, but we at least have the opportunity to view those things however we choose to view them, and we can respond however we choose to respond. And so, in that sense, we are still masters of our own experience and masters of our own life. Or we can play the victim role, where everything happens to us, and I can't do this because of that, and that thing happened to me, and this guy screwed me over there, and this thing, Or, like I said, we can own mastership, and if something happens, then it happens, and we choose our response. We're not governed by the outside world. We're not pulled and pushed by our emotions, our thoughts, and the circumstances of life around us. To do that, meditation really helps, by the way, because we begin to open to this observer consciousness and awaken to the idea that we're not our thoughts, we're not our feelings, we're not our emotions. In addition to things that I've come across in some trainings that I've done, were reinforced for me the other day, are this idea of acknowledgement and then regrounding and redirecting our attention. When we're present and grounded, it is so much easier to roll with all the ups and downs of life because we're rooted in what is, and we're kind of the tree that weathers all storms. Doesn't get pushed or pulled in any particular direction. It can stay and hold its roots. So in doing that, acknowledgement and grounding. So acknowledgement meaning, let's not hide from what we have. If we have a lot of, anger going on, then just, I have anger. If we have sadness, I have sadness. If we have extra thoughts going on and our mind is running around, acknowledge it. I have thoughts. I have expectations. I have failed expectations. I have mistakes. I have whatever the hell it happens to be, a pain in my tummy because I ate too much. But whatever is going on, mind, body, spirit, feelings, emotions, sensations, acknowledgement, first of all, helps us take ownership of it, helps us establish our master consciousness, and then redirecting our attention back into our body. Our body is underneath our thoughts, it's underneath our emotions, and so by redirecting our attention back into our body, it really helps to cultivate that sense of groundedness. So a great practice, a great practical technique that, like I said, I've learned through a couple of my different trainings. Originally, a lady at my yoga studio named Don Ilshimnim. It's a Korean spiritual name, means one energy mind. Or another lady named Master Oceana recently reminded me of this. So I will kind of walk y'all through it. It's this, we talked yesterday about this I am, I have idea. Remember, if I am angry, then that's something that I am, and that really sticks with me, and I'm living as that anger. If I have anger, then that's just, I am the observer, I am the master, and I have anger flowing through me. I mentioned yesterday, if I have this watch, I can set this watch down. If I am this watch, that's a whole different animal, right? So same thing, if I have anger, then I can set the anger down. If I have sadness, I can see it for what it is and I can let it go. So acknowledgement using the phrase I have really, really helps. And again, redirecting our attention. Rather than staying stuck in the emotions or stuck in the thoughts, come back down in our body. One of the easiest ways to do that is through tapping. If I'm doing this, where's my attention right now? Right, it's on my chest, it's on my body. My mind is with my body. So, and the most central place in your body is your core. And so if I am doing this, I'm tapping and my attention comes back down into my body. So simply taking time and just kind of getting a nice, peaceful, Zen kind of place, observing yourself. Just begin tapping a little bit below the belly button, nice central core of the body. There's a major pressure point, by the way, here that helps feed the energy system of the body. There is also feeds into the second chakra, the lower dantian, or danjan in Korean, whatever you want to call it, all the same thing. Well, anyway, basically second chakra and lower danjan are the same thing. Different traditions have it different ways, but that's neither here nor there. So observing yourself and just noticing what pops up. And as you sit and you hang out and you tap and you're connecting with your body, let's say you feel anger for a moment, then just, I have anger. I choose to feel my danjan deeper. Danjan, again, meaning this second chakra, lower storehouse battery of energy. And you can say, I choose to feel my tummy more if you want to, if that makes you happier. But the point is just connecting with your body. So an acknowledgement, just, I have anger. I have sadness. I have many thoughts right now. I have a pain in my leg. I have whatever I have. And I choose to feel, and I'm just going to use the phrase, I choose to feel my danjan deeper. But again, if you have a particular thing, I choose to feel my tummy. I choose to feel my second chakra. But I learned it with, I choose to feel my danjan deeper. And again, that's just reminding our brain to bring our attention effortlessly back down into our core. So, I have anger. I choose to feel my danjan deeper. I have fear. I choose to feel my danjan deeper. I have, and if nothing is coming up for you, I have nothing. I have nothing. I choose to feel my danjan deeper. I have nothing. I choose to feel my danjan deeper. I have thoughts. I choose to feel my danjan deeper. And just do this for 10 or 15 minutes, or, 2, whatever works. I'm not saying you got to stick to 10 or 15, although it really does help clear stuff out if you do it for longer. Do it for 1 minute, whatever makes you happy. But in doing that, it really begins to establish this ownership of your experience. It helps you to step behind your thoughts and your emotions, become master and cultivate that sense, like I said, of ownership of your experience, and then continually redirecting your thoughts so you're not lost the emotion, redirecting your attention, your awareness, so you're not lost in your thoughts and your emotions. Can be a very grounding practice, and as you do it more and more and you keep acknowledging all the stuff that's coming up, it just starts releasing and releasing and releasing, and you stay centered and grounded. Can be a very, very therapeutic cleansing process. So with love and with good vibes and with healing your body, stepping into your master consciousness, your observer consciousness, just, I have this thing, whatever this is. I have nothing. I choose to feel my danjan deeper. I have fatigue. I choose to feel my danjan deeper. I have fear and anxiety. I choose to feel my danjan deeper. I have nothing. I choose to feel my danjan deeper. I have tension in my brain, tension in my neck and shoulders. I choose to feel my danjan deeper, etc. So, I hope that finds y'all well. I hope that serves y'all well. I'm going to sign off for the evening. Although I guess if anybody that is on has any questions or comments, please feel free to chime in and say hello. I appreciate the love. All right. Again, any questions, any comments are always welcome. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off for the evening and see y'all tomorrow. All right. Much love. Take care. Have a wonderful evening.